Shalom, shalom, everybody. May Yahuwah's favor and light and countenance shine upon you. I would like to share with you, I'm going to title this little message, Escape the Moon Sabbaths. So just give some little details on how the enemy takes the truth of Scripture and steers you, his servants will steer you way off course into these dark little mysteries without coming back to the original text and starting it out from the beginning. And I'd like to share some of these things. We're going to maybe hit the levels again and do some symbolic meaning. But I wanted to at least lay some things out to spare so many others from going through the long sessions of training that I went through trying to, when the Father showed me these moon Sabbaths, and I had to wholeheartedly search through them to make sure they were true or were not true. And it's just impossible. You can't add that too much to the Word when the Word doesn't say it. But I'd like to start out in Romans 1. All you Shaul haters, that's tough. We just have to go on. Romans 1 talks about the marriage. If you don't understand what the Father's created from the beginning, you're going to go, as he talks about this analogy, men with men, women with women. You break the marriage covenant of Yahuwah reproducing himself. And that's what the Sabbath week is about. So let's read through this, and I'll build as we go, and we'll go back into the stock texts as far as the explaining this. One verse we'll pick up here. Again, Shaul is a hinter. Remember, he was a Pardes servant. He understood the levels once he cast off his Judaism and understand how the Ruach teaches the soul, spirit, joint, and marrow of the Word. The height, the width, the depth, and the length, the north, south, east, and west. So let's pick up at verse 3. And this is sort of, he's pointing at something right now. See, that's why so many people stumble with Shaul's writings. They don't understand how he layers upon layer upon layer upon layer, and you got to piece it all together, precept upon precept, line upon line, a little here. That's how you're weaned from the milk, and you can enter into the meat. Okay? Keep it in mind. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, but let's escape the moon Sabbaths. I can show you some of the tricks that they use by just speaking the truth. Okay, concerning his son Yahusha, Hamashiach, our master. Now pay attention, he's hinting at something. Which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh, the line of Miriam, flesh and bone. He's pointing to something. If we who overcome will be half Miriam, or flesh and bone, of Miriam's side of Yahusha, and Yahuwah's Alahim side of being, the family of Yahuwah. Yahusha is that way right now. He's exalted in the highest heaven on high, and yet he has Miriam's lineage in him. So this is what he's saying here. We're going to build on this marriage that most people will not understand. He's using a typical human marriage. When a man and woman come together, they fall in love, they have children. That little child is a product of them both. No matter if it looks like mama, looks like dad, doesn't matter. They're genetically, chromosomally, everything, they're blended together as both of them, no matter who it favors. And this is what he's saying here. And once you forsake the Sabbath week, there's a homosexuality and a lesbianism coming. Because those people don't reproduce seed. You see? Okay. Again, Shaul is a Pardes teacher. And again, the Father's beginning to say, just go ahead and do it. The Ruach will do the work. I'm the one that, all I'm going to do is plant it. Yahuwah's Ruach is going to either let it sit in you and rest, or it's going to do nothing. He'll germinate it, allow it to work, or it'll fade away and get eaten by the birds. Okay? Alright. Declared to be the Son of Yahuwah with power according to the Ruach of Kadoshness, by the resurrection of the dead, by whom we have received the favor, again, Son of Yahuwah, along with the lineage of David. If you miss verses 3 and 4, you miss the entire book of Romans. The book of Romans is teaching Romans 1, 3, and 4. the lineage of David, or Miriam's genetics in him. And Yahuwah is the father, so Yahuwah's Ruach inseminated into this Miriam, and they had a son. This is what we are being offered if we understand what was done at the creation, or at the beginning. This is why the creation week, Satan's attacking it so hard. Some of the most highly skilled scholars in the world that I would have trusted not that long ago, they fall to these lunar Sabbaths, and I disregard, cast out every single thing they say. I no longer trust them because they have a spirit of delusion. And if we have time, we're going to go into that spirit of delusion. What a delusion means, they're so convinced that it's truth. Their light is light and it's full darkness. That's a delusion. They're not meaning to be cruel. They're not meaning to destroy you. The moon Sabbaths are nowhere in Scripture. Okay? Now listen. Concerning his son Yahusha, verse 3, Romans 1:3, Hamashiach, our master, who was made of the seed of David, he's connecting the dots here, lineage, Miriam's genetics, according to Miriam, the flesh, and declared to be the son of Yahuwah with power according to the Ruach of Kadosh, by the resurrection from the dead. So he declared it once he was resurrected. Miriam's line couldn't have resurrected and ascended on high. Of course, it could have resurrected physically if Yahushua allowed it. I mean, without Yahuwah's Ruach, I mean. Now, that's all we're going to leave. We're stopping right there. The Miriam's lineage and Yahuwah's lineage, this is the marriage that everyone's defiling. Now, let's go to 18. Romans 1:18. This is just wonderful to see this. For the wrath of Yahuwah, now listen, is revealed from Shemaim against all wickedness and the unrighteousness of men. Okay? Now, right here, if you don't know Bereshit 1 or Genesis 1, you're not going to get it. You know where the moon guys go wrong? When Yahuwah created the Shemaim and the earth, if you check out that word, there is no connecting way to put stars in the Shemaim. It's just a vast space. No stars, no planets, no nothing. Yahuwah made a vast darkness to begin the days. He created the darkness part of the day first. He set the tone up long before the sun, the bright light through the first, the entire week. Yahushua was the sun that lighted the sky, and the earth was on its pillars, and it rotated. Yahushua stood still before it became Yahuwah in the flesh. Yahushua stood still. He was the sun. The earth rotated with him day and night through these days. And all he did was calibrate the earth's sun when it was made with his day and night 24-hour, or 12 12-hour days and 3 watches of the night. Because I never found in the Word where there's actually stated that there's 12 hours in a night. So I've only found the watches. Now, this is critical. Now watch this, guys. Listen. My family, hear this. Yahusha taught Shaul to him. If you have the Ruach, your whole insides, the Ruach swelling up in you and saying, this is it. Listen. Pay attention. Those who don't have the Ruach, you're going to look at me like this guy is just adding to the Word. He's doomed forever. And I'll tell you now, I got to keep watching these times. I'll tell you now, Yahushua warned it. If you take away from the Word, He will blot your name out of the book of life. So if you don't do the parties, the 4 rivers heading back to the Garden of Eden's, the river of life, where they parted out and separated and went their way, I did a teaching on it, all you have to do is hear it. If you don't follow the parties, you're taking away 3/4 of the word of life. You can read it literally, and when I tackle subject with these moon Sabbathers, all they do is pashat me. All they do is literal it away. They're very good technicians, literally, but they miss the inferences. They miss what it's pointing to. That's why they can believe a moon Sabbath. It's not there. And another thing I wanted to say to warn you, so this teaching is called what? Escape from the moon Sabbaths. Another thing they do, remember this, another thing they do, well, we won't, let's skip this. Let me stay on focus. Pardon me, I end up go off course. So, for the wrath of Yahuwah is revealed from Shemaim. His wrath is initiated because they don't understand what was revealed in the Shema'in in Bereshit 1. Oh, you'll come and sit and, oh, the planets were all there. The earth was in the conjunction mode the day before day 1, and then the little moony dooney lit up, and that was day 1 of the Sabbath week. You see? Oh, there's 4 ways to do the moon Sabbaths. I'm not going to go and break down what they try to do to sell you. I'm just going to show you the truth in the scriptures where Yahuwah never said it. And I'm going to go into Exodus 20, and I'll show you if Yahuwah was a moon Shabbath, I'll write it, or I'll read the commandment of the Sabbath the way, if he wasn't a deceiver and a treacherous person, or a treacherous being of this counterfeit moon Sabbath guy, he would lay it out face to face. He would say, okay, we're having conjunction moon coming up. Now there's 3 or 4 ways to do it. Okay, the last Sabbath is just ending. Right before the last conjunction, when the moon goes into junction the first time, there's still one more dark moon. That one dark moon, if you don't count that day, you have the 4th Sabbath of the month. You don't count that day. And then the skipped day, you go to the first day, and that's always going to be the count to the 7. So it's skip day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Sabbath. So there's always going to be one time in the month, 1 to 2 days added to. He would have made it clear. Because in the scriptures, all through the scriptures, there's 30-day months. I do the conjunction moon. My months come up 30 days every time. Because I don't cite some flippin' moon. You see? It's perfect. It's a perfect science. Okay. Hear this. For the wrath of Yahuwah, listen, was revealed from Shema'in. What was pointed to back in Genesis 1:1, as he will say in the next few verses. This is the wrath coming. They missed the Shema'in. There was not a planet formed. The only planet that Yahuwah said he put it up in pillars, the pillars of the earth, there's like 3 or 4 times there's pillars installed because there's no gravitational force of a solar system or a galaxy or anything to hold the earth. He had to put it on pillars where it was self-sustaining in its own orbit, its rotating orbit. In other words, there's no sun, moon, stars to hold the gravitational pull together. He had to make it self-supporting in that airless environment. The earth was created. The heavens without a planet, the earth next. That's where they blow it. Oh, they're so cunning. And another thing I want to say, most of the guys that teach the moon Sabbath, they believe what I call the extra Bibles. There's all sorts of hints and references of the extra Bibles. Enoch, the garbage Bibles, as far as what people consider scripture. The only one I found with any validity is Ecclesiastes, Cyrus or whatever that one was. There's some value in it, just a few dark spots. That's all I've really searched, that I found some quality to it. So that's another trick to use. They'll use all these extra biblical sources. And then people who come to me, I say, you have to memorize the entirety of the Bible in all 4 parties, levels, before you branch off into the others. You will get deceived if you don't immerse yourself in this thing first. You will get deceived. This has to be the core, the foundation of everything. And then they branch off of those scriptures. I've been doing this many years, 13, 14, 15 years now, so the Father allowed me to branch off into Ecclesiastes. In other words, I sort of let him lead me. I just don't read all the Bible just to immerse myself in all the extra scriptures. The Enochs are garbage. It's just like, what you have to do is go online and study the Satanic Bible. And then go on to Enoch and see the many similarities. It's angel use. Satan's Bible teaches how to use demons for your best interest to kill and hurt everybody. It's not coming out saying kill or hurt by it, but it gives exactly how fallen angels work in the book of Enoch. He's calling them righteous angels. You see? Okay, we got to watch our time here. Romans 1:18. For the wrath of Elohim, Yahuwah, comes revealed because it comes from the heavens. Because he's going to state right in the next verse that it's the Bereshit chapter 1 and 2 he's talking about, where the marriage family is destroyed. Okay? For the wrath of Yahuwah is revealed from Shema'in, pay attention, against all wickedness, unrighteousness of men who hold the truth of Yahuwah in unrighteousness. I'm going to part 2 now. Be right back.